Kaitlin Bennett from Liberty Hangout. So she actually did a great video earlier this week, half an hour long. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm only going to play the intro, but you can listen to it yourself.
In common with a Trump supporter or a radical Islamist?
Radical Islamist.
You saw someone wearing one of those red hats chanting "Make America Great Again," or you saw someone shouting "Allahu Akbar" running down the breezeway here. Who would you feel more safe with?
The one shouting Allahu Akbar. Yeah.
What is it about Trump supporters that you don't think you'd get along with them so well?
I'm gay.
But you would get along with a radical Islamist?
Yes.
And you're gay?
Yes.
In solidarity with radical Islamists, would you look at the camera and say in solidarity, Allahu Akbar?
Allahu Akbar.
And would you say "Make America Great Again" in solidarity with the Trump supporters?
Okay, so as you saw there, she basically went around doing man on the street interviews and asked a bunch of people if they would rather be with people from radical Islam or MAGA supporters. And they overwhelmingly said that they would prefer to be with radical Islamists, which is crazy for several reasons. I mean, first of all, you're willing to support foreigners over your fellow Americans. Like, this to me just shows how far leftism has divided this country, especially in terms of all the anti-Trumpism that's going on, because it's like Trump is the boogeyman. You can't support Trump, and if you do, then you're evil. You can't talk to anybody. And look, I'm fine with anybody supporting whoever you want. I'm actually, a lot of my friends are leftists. I don't care with it. It's they're great people. I disagree with them on certain things. I think that they're wrong, but they're still people. I'm not gonna stop hanging out with them because they're a leftist. But that's clearly not what a lot of people think, which is insane, and it's really, like I said, bad for the country, because we're getting to the point where we're having two distinct worldviews that are so diametrically opposed that you can't coexist with the other side. And like I said, this is what leads to civil conflict, especially civil wars, when you eventually get to the point where there's so little between the two of you that you actually have in common that you must fight to secure some sort of common ground or dominate the other party, which isn't good. But this is even bigger because over the past 4 weeks we've had, or I'm sorry, the past few weeks, I'll go a little bit further. Let's say a month or two, just because I know we've had so many attempted Islamic terrorist attacks over the past few weeks, and like the past few months, however long you want to specify, that this is already kind of absurd, because we had the Austin shooting, we had Old Dominion University, we had the Michigan synagogue, we had the New York City attempted bombing, which we went over. I think we went over three. So we went over Old Dominion, Michigan, and New York City last week. Austin shooting was the week before. It's just all this stuff is happening, and we know that this is Islamic terrorism. And like I said last week, there are good Muslims. I'm not going to say that all of them are. I'm not even going to say that most of them are. But you have a religion that inherently calls for them to kill all people who don't belong to their religion, which is just wrong. And I wish that they would come out and condemn it, because I haven't seen a lot of Muslims or mosques or any structure of organization in the Islamic religion come out against these attacks. But this is even bigger because obviously Europe has been experiencing a lot of these problems. So I'm just going to start off with the statistics of people immigrating into Europe. Syria has been the main country of citizenship of asylum seekers in the EU since 2013. In 2024, Syrians lodged 147,965 first-time applications, 16.2% of the total number of first-time applications in the EU, followed by Venezuela with 72,775 applications. Afghanistan, which had been the second main country of citizenship for 6 consecutive years, ranked third with 72,155 applications. So, of those three, 2 of them are Middle Eastern with a high population of Muslims, which, like I said, there's nothing wrong with being Muslim as long as you're willing to interact peacefully with other people of other religions. But this doesn't seem to be the case, because if you look at in Paris, 48% of criminal acts in Paris are committed by foreigners, with 55% in Marseille. And as I just said, the majority of these immigrants coming in are from Middle Eastern nations, which means that they are likely to be Muslim or have Islamic faith. Doesn't mean that they are Islamic or Muslim. I'm just saying that it's more likely that they are. So that's in France. Then we have in UK by the Migration Central, up to 47% of sexual offense charges in London last year were foreign nationals. So this is in 2024. Between 48% and 47% were foreign nationals. Again, all this is publicly available. This was actually the result of a Freedom of Information request that was made to the UK Parliament. Then we also have, from Italy, more than a third of the people reported stopped or arrested in Italy during 2024 are foreigners, 34.7%, with percentages even doubling, exceeding 60% for predatory crimes. Nationwide, the number of arrestees of foreign nationality is on the rise compared to 2019 before the pandemic, when 265,869 individuals were reported. There was a jump of 8.1%. So as immigration has increased in the European Union, we've seen a significant amount of Middle Eastern, or let's say non-Western immigrants coming into the countries, and they are overwhelmingly going against the basic laws of the nation and committing some of the worst crimes that we can even think of. And that's something that we can just get along with. Like I said, I'm not against all Muslims. The problem is that if you have radical Muslims, it makes people generally assume that there are going to be more of them. And it means that we should be at least somewhat worried. Whether that's right or wrong, it's logical to be concerned about these interactions with people of this faith.